Well, the long weekend is here, and no surprise, gas prices are going up. But don't worry, it's not by much. They went up a couple cents last night. They could increase another 2 cents by tomorrow. But prices across Southern Ontario are actually at the lowest they've been in 3 years. Market analyst Dan McTeague sat down with Roger Petersen on BT this morning and says that trade tensions are playing a big part in the price at the pumps.
Normally we would see prices move up. Many of us predicted at the beginning of the year that we'd see prices as high as we saw in 2018, so we'd be looking at $1.30 right now. You can really credit most of this to the fact that there's a lot of nervousness in markets today about the outcome of trade disputes, not just between the United States and China, the number 1 and 2 economies, but also elsewhere around the world, Japan, South Korea, Brexit, of course, and all these things are leading to a rather depressed view of, of global commodities such as oil and gas. We're also looking, of course, at the fact that there's a lot of supply. U.S. and domestic global supplies of oil have been very robust over the past several weeks, and that's why we've seen prices really stabilize for many people.
I was reading an article on Trump is now one of the factors. Is that true that when it comes to fuel prices, they actually consider what Trump does and that the impact it will have on gas, on the industry?
Trump tweets have probably been singularly responsible for the price we're paying, not just for oil, but for gasoline and diesel as well. Discussions or tweets that the president sets out is obviously listened to very carefully. And even beyond the usual geopolitical issues, the Middle East, tensions in the Straits of Hormuz, Saudi Arabia, one of the crown princes meeting with Trump over the next few days, and of course possible settlement of trade sanctions with Iran being discussed and really bandied about. These are things that have a long-term impact on the price we're paying for energy. And of course, as long as he keeps tweeting, we're likely to save a little bit.
Hurricane season, we're into it now. Any concerns with that? There's so much production refinery going on down in the Gulf.
Yeah, Roger, I'm worried about Hurricane Dorian. It's, of course, likely to hit, as your weather folks have been pointing out, Florida Category 3, but then it's going to slip over the Panhandle and go into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I'm not a meteorologist, so I'll leave that for the experts, but if that continues to stay in the Gulf of Mexico, then, of course, that could have an effect on oil production as well as fuel production. And so, for that reason, if it gets anywhere near Louisiana, tip of Alabama, into Texas, then, of course, we're looking at temporary disruptions there, which could lead to spike in prices.